Hi, my name is Beth Hiley here for Board Game Geek at Spiel 17. I'm sitting down with Rory O'Connor and Michael Fox from the Creativity Hub, and you guys have brought us your newest title, Untold.
Yeah, so Untold is an adventure game for 1 to 4 players, where you basically go on, you're the heroes in your own ongoing episodic adventure series. So this allows you to play like Star Trek themes, like space adventures, or like dark and broody Game of Thrones type stories, or even like a 1980s cartoon TV series like, let's say, Ulysses
31.
Ulysses 31.
That'd be a good one.
And the kind of key thing with this is it's powered by kind of two things. One is this 5-act structure that we've created using the cards, and also Rory story cubes. So this is what allows you to kind of do anything and go anywhere in the game.
And we should mention that a standard set of the cubes comes in the box, but you could incorporate any of the other sets
so
that you've had.
If you want a specifically sci-fi theme, you mix in intergalactic. If you want it to be kind of heavy D&D themed, you might want to mix in Fantasia. If you want like anthropomorphic superheroes, you mix in Animalia and Powers together. So or if you wanted to set it in Gotham City, you can use Batman, or like our plug new Adventure Time set. So you can basically
That one
be
works
characters.
really well.
Yeah, it lends itself to the kind of craziness of it all.
All right, take us through how we're going to go through our story and our plot.
Okay, so a key thing is the game plays in like 60 minutes and under, and there's no preparation beforehand. So a family can sit down and start playing this game like straight out of the box. So you start off by deciding on the setting for your episode. Okay, and you do that by answering like 4 basic questions. When is the episode going to take place? Where is it going to take place? What's or what do we know about this world? So is there magic? Is it high tech? Is there mutants, or did the Roman Empire never fall? That kind of thing. And the tone is a really important one. It's basically how we're going to play together. So is this going to be dark and broody? Is it going to be kind of light comedic, or is it going to be farcical? And you'll see how the game is really being designed to kind of facilitate that collaborative storytelling and make sure everyone has a good time when they play it. So once you've answered these first 4 questions, you basically jump into the game. To do that, you basically encounter a danger. So we flip the first card, and it basically gives you a very simple sentence structure that says, at this location, a threat, it has captured someone or something. If you look at the player reference guide, the options might be they're accusing someone, they're attacking someone, they've captured someone, or they're pursuing someone or something. Okay, so in this case, out of the random cards that come with the box, and I should mention, there's 6 of each card, so there's 720 possible story arcs.
I love that you've done the math on that.
I know. I've learned that with story cubes. So in this case, someone or something has captured someone or something. Okay, so let's say we're assuming this is going to be a sci-fi setting.
All right.
Okay, so we've answered our questions and said it's going to be Star Trek-y.
Awesome.
Just to make it really clear. Okay, so the first thing we do is we roll the story cubes, and we're going to use these basically to answer the questions. So the question is, where are we, and who is the threat or the danger in this episode?
I'm going to say we're in a laboratory.
Okay, and I will say like a floating, one-eyed, like a cyclopean Azrael, which is like an alien species, appears to have captured someone or something. That's all we know, and that's all we need to know for the setup. So imagine cutting to the title sequence where the characters are introduced. So now we're going to I'll put this here, the character profile. And again, we answer just a few simple questions. What's our job or role in the episode? What compels us to go on adventures? And this came from the playtesting where people didn't always want to be the hero. So like Scooby-Doo, you're like the reluctant hero who kind of gets dragged on adventures. And then you give yourself 2 specials, and that could be an ability or a power, a helpful item or companion, or an area of expertise or knowledge. So you just note those down. If you're stuck for ideas, you can always roll the story cubes to help you come up with ideas. So once we've got our characters, we explain how we know each other, and we jump back into the story. So if you put these back in, boom, there we go. So to figure out we need to figure out what's going on, and we need to deal with the threat. So to do that, we can ask questions and we can take actions. As soon as you take the last action, the episode ends and you must move on to the next scene. So we might say, have you got a question you might want to ask?
I would say, who has built this cyclopsian, whatever you called it?
Alien creature.
There we go.
Okay, so I'll do it because you've got your hands full. So you roll it. So you take the token, and this is important to indicate how everyone is playing in the game. So you kind of see if someone's hogging or someone's not getting a chance to participate, to kind of check in and make sure everyone's having a good time as they're playing. So we're going to roll to see who created this?
Created this thing, and
Okay.
we're gonna say a Jekyll and Hyde type scientist.
Okay. So I might quickly ask, okay, who have they captured? Who or what have they captured? So this Cyclopean creature.
I'm gonna put that chip in front of you
Oh,
since you
yes,
asked
exactly.
the question.
So I will say it's actually a time traveler who's it's like a kind of fish merman type creature who's come back from the future, and they've captured them. Okay.
And I actually want to applaud you because let's say Michael hasn't participated in this
Yeah,
action
exactly,
yet,
okay.
and you actually have a mechanic built in to compensate for that.
So what we can do is, at any time, I can jump in and say, well, this merman that you speak of in the future, I can flip this idea token here, and it's a one-off spend, which means that I am not allowed to use it again, but I do get a next one to use later down the line. But I can put my idea in on top of it. So it turns out that this merman is actually a massive superhero, a world-renowned, super famous superhero from the future. So it's not just your average, everyday merman. It's like super overpowered, and they are called Merman. There you go. Really, really innovative naming construction.
Well, I was gonna say that the part I really liked when you were showing me this earlier too is that, let's say, Michael, you weren't feeling very verbally expressive today. You're having kind of a quiet day, and you can flip that over and be like, whoa.
So this is like an ad break. So think of it. It's we're now going to take a moment and sort of think, why is Michael not engaged in this episode? Why am I not talking that much? So you guys would go, okay, what can we do to make you feel a bit happier about this game? Can we push the game in a different direction? Is there anything that we can make or anything that we can do to help you feel more involved? And then once everybody's happy and everything's done, boom,
We're
back
back in
into
the
the game
action.
again.
So it's almost like you can kind of pause and rewind slightly, and then start the story again in the direction you
So
want.
just to kind of wrap this up a little bit, I just want to highlight some of your reaction and outcome cards here, because we're going to kind of continue that process through the rest of our story development. How do these play in?
So, like I said, you can ask questions or take action. So when you take an action, you use a very simple structure, which is like, I want to or I try to. So it might be, I tried to free the merman by using, I might have an ability, to kind of untie the chains that he's tied up in, okay? So I take the action, so I want to try and free him. So I flip over an outcome card to see whether I
All right,
succeed.
let's see where that goes. But
So basically it's red or green for success, red for kind of you don't succeed, and then some of the cards are modified by a but or an and. So we managed to free him, but something has happened, okay, that is not in our favor.
Yeah,
So
a slight negative. So yeah.
so to figure that out, we flip over a reaction card.
which is
Okay, so someone in the scene is reacting in this way. It could be us, it could be Merman, it could be the alien. So in this case, it's actually going to be Merman because he's really put out at the fact that he had to be rescued. And we've actually made an enemy of Merman. He's like, I had this totally covered. Like, what are you doing? And it was all part of his plan to be captured, and we've ruined the timeline as a result of that. Okay? Oh man, so we're in trouble. So once we've asked all of the questions here, so once we spend the last one, we go through the various scenes. So the plot will thicken, where in this case we discover the alien has an evil master. Then to deal with this, we travel to a new location where we meet a new threat who is now pursuing us, and we have to deal with that. Then we discover that this new threat has been following a dark agenda all along that we must deal with, and that kind of propels us to the final showdown where we encounter not one but two threats. So the colors then inside here indicate that you can reintroduce elements for dramatic tension. So in this case, blue, this is a blue border,
Back to the
so we
lab.
could go back to the lab where we confront the alien, and we might actually use this to have rolled it and use it to indicate merman. So we're actually facing off against the two people who we thought were foes in the beginning. We're actually in cahoots with each other, and they're attacking us. So the whole thing plays out, like we said, in 60 minutes. Whether you succeed or not, if you succeed, it's woohoo, you celebrate. If you don't, it just becomes a cliffhanger for the next episode.
and then you can go again.
Yeah, and we have on the episode sheet, we have locations to make notes as you're
I
playing.
was gonna say you've got the ability to have character notes over multiple episodes, so
Yes, so you can kind of note down what's changed and use them as plot points for future episodes as well. So the more you play with this, the more the world grows. And it's just like, we've been demoing it all weekend, and it's just been so much fun, like hearing the range of stories that have been coming out from this one simple kind of setup that people have to play with.
Well, Rory and Michael, thank you so much for letting us take a look. If you guys want to check that out, that is Untold from the Creativity Hub, and thank you again.
Thank you.